Hey everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Block, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the noise in the background because both dogs are now snoring logs, sawing logs, whatever the saying is. So I'm going to let Mama Maggie introduce herself and then Skye, and we will get into it because we have some awesome topics today.
Hello, lovelies. Mama Maggie Ward, independent author and stroke survivor, and I'm a little blurry today because I've like the last couple of days we have the Pueblo Chili Festival and Balloon Festival going on, and we've been doing that since Friday, all the sunlight, all the days, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good food. So yeah, I'm here with my melting brain, but we do have some interesting topics today.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes, and I am here and I'm awake. So that's all you're going to get from me for right now.
I like that. So yeah, we've had some people pop up in the comments. We have Devin. Devin is actually going to be with us next week on Sunday the 29th. Yes, 29th, I think. Whatever day Sunday is. Me plan? No. But good morning. Good morning, Eva. Skye pulling double duty here. And we've got a Jenna. She's in lurk mode. Mama Maggie doing double duty. And Eva says, my town had an Italian festival all weekend, and it's super stormy out today, though, so I imagine it's all but shut down. Yeah. Yes, you were. And thank you for being here, Skye. But yeah. All right. So
it was so windy at the Chili Festival yesterday. We had to leave here at like 5:30 in the morning to make it down to the balloon launch because we like to chase the hot air balloons. Chase them, pack them. That's one of the things that is our family thing. That's a fun thing we do. But it was so windy because we had this cold front coming in. It was so windy yesterday morning that the balloons were up and they were standing up, and then the wind started to shift and the balloons were all starting to lean. And if you don't know about hot air balloons, they use basically propane flamethrowers up into them to keep the hot air balloon. And when the balloons start leaning like that because of the wind, it's real easy to catch the nylon and just melt. And so the wind, they sent up a drone to see what the wind was, and the drone was going up fine. And then all of a sudden the drone just started doing this, and then it just shot away. And the guys were like, and you know that they had caught one of the upper level winds, and it was going to be way too windy for the balloons to launch. So, and then they were like, get the balloons down now. And so then they just started pulling the balloons down as fast as they could. But it was a lot of fun. There were some really pretty balloons. I've got pictures to post of it. And I've got to send several of the balloons. I got some good pictures of, so I'm going to send it to their websites. But yeah, the weather changing, autumn's here.
Yep.
Autumn's here. The high country gold. They're all right. Okay, go here to see the aspen. Go here to see the aspen. And so, yeah.
Yeah. We had a balloon festival down in Georgia back when I was a teenager, and they did it in spring. And if y'all know spring in the mountains of Georgia, that's a bad idea, friend. Bad idea. So needless to say, it didn't last all weekend. It lasted maybe 2 hours on a Saturday, and that was about it.
Yeah, we have several of them out here. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into our topics. Yeah, Tennessee has,
North Carolina does too.
That would be neat. Okay. How do you feel about paid ARC reviewers? Now, for those of you that may not know, ARC reviewers are advanced reader copies sent out to usually people who sign up to be your ARC reader, and after they finish reading, they go ahead and leave a review or a comment or something like that on your Amazon page, your website, or something like that. But they usually say, hey, I got this as a freebie. I am an ARC reviewer, and so on and so forth. But how do you feel about paid ARC reviewers, beta readers, those that slide into your DMs to offer these services unsolicited?
I love it.
Well, we started all of this. We started when we were collectively sharing when we were collectively sharing one of the people in our Breaking the Block, Lauren, shared this thing that she found, and then I went down the rabbit hole too of this young indie author who basically she started getting, she was building up for her launch, and everybody's like, I want an ARC, and then this book Instagrammer reviewer sent her this thing and it says, oh, I really am interested in your walk, thank you very much, and then started and she's like, well, I'm not going to give you a free copy of my book and then pay you to review it. And they were threatening them. They were like, we're going to review bomb your book. And this is actually something that indie authors have to deal with. You would never, she makes a very good point. You would never go to a big author, a trad pub author, and go, I want to review your book. You're going to pay me or I'm going to blackball your book. And so this is something as indie authors we think. Now, if you have beta readers, if you are paying for a beta reader, for an editorial read, for a developmental read, for a sensitivity read, those are legitimate things you pay for. Mm-hmm. But if you are paying for a review for an ARC copy, that is against Amazon's TOS. Mm-hmm. It is against Draft Digital's TOS. Yep. And you will find yourself without a platform very, very fast. Now, I belong to a Facebook group that's an indie author writer support group. And in the last, like two weeks ago, I got in a huge fight with an author of a spy thriller / erotica side romance thing. And because he says, well, you can pay for editorial reviews. Well, there's a difference between fiction reviewing and editorial reviewing. And you are expected to pay for editorial reviews. Editorial reviews are normally for nonfiction works and scientific papers and stuff. Like I had to pay for a review for one of the thesis papers that I wrote when I was in college, and this is back in the 90s. Hmm. So, yes, you do pay for editorial reviews. But if you are paying someone like, what was that group called? Readers Favorite for 5-star reviews and then putting those reviews on your Amazon page, those are not legitimate reviews. If you are paying for reviews and then having them and paying reviews, and there's a lot of people. I know that I get a lot of things. I get messages on Inkit, Wattpad, Instagram, Twitter X, and my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. We will read and review your book and post reviews and share your book on our platform. And they get away with saying this because they're like, we'll share your book on our platform and you're paying for the share. You're not paying for the reviews. You're paying for the reviews. Yeah. And they will give you 4.5, 5-star reviews, depending on, what level you pay for. But yeah, they're starting to get aggressive. Yeah. They are starting to threaten to review bomb. And like the girl on the screen, she got threatened with having her book review bombed and told she wasn't a real writer. And so this is just another thing that indie authors have to watch out for, because they know we really, indie authors are much more driven than trad pub authors. Yeah. Because we are doing everything ourselves. We have the entire burden. Whereas trad pub authors, their agent has the burden, their editor has the burden, their media person for the publishing house has the burden. So they split the stress of the book release. But sadly, we don't. And if you don't want to get in trouble with the indie publishing platforms, then do not, please be aware that this is a thing that will get you kicked.
Yeah. Usually with ARC reads, like I have a form that you can fill out to hire me for a beta read or a session, like stuck in the middle where we talk like this. And on there, I have ARC read on there, but it's like my payment, I get the book for free.
Well, and the other thing is people aren't revealing is Amazon is actually considering, like there was chatter in the Amazon pages about is the book itself a gift? Is it a gratuity to get the review? And are they going to start blocking book reviewers who get ARCs?
Wow.
I do have an issue with that, only because there's all these companies that do like sponsorship stuff, and they send products for free, and you're allowed to review that kind of stuff. So why wouldn't a book be available for the same option?
Exactly.
That's my only issue with that.
Well, yeah. it goes back to the double standard with books. Mm-hmm. Amazon treats they treat books with sadly books get a double standard.
Yeah. And this right here is actually a saying from, what was it, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now, somewhere around in there, where there was a big drama fest here on AuthorTube about an author asking for their ARC reviewers to pay for their books, I believe, is the big thing that was. So this carries on over into this topic too.
Oh yeah.
I do have a question, and I'm not meaning this as like to be mean or anything, but when did we start paying for beta readings? Because when I first started doing reader stuff 20 years ago now, beta readers were supposed to be free, just like ARCs. So, and it feels like to me, overnight, we suddenly started paying for beta readers. I understand paying for sensitivity readers, because that's a different thing.
It started in the pandemic.
Okay. I was just curious.
People started charging for beta reading during the pandemic because they were like, if I'm giving, if I'm going to be giving my time to give, but it's the thing is, it's not just you beta read it and you're like, oh, I liked your book, or I didn't like this. The paid beta readers were like another level of like developmental reading
stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So they weren't just like, oh yeah, pay me to read your book. There are people who are like, pay me to read and review your book.
I mean, obviously, because we got people demanding ARCs for pay me for my ARCs.
Pay me to read your ARC. Yeah. No, we already struggle enough as indie authors without being targeted by predatory reviewers. And right. I'm gonna call them predatory reviewers because this practice of, to threaten to review bomb someone's book, that's harassment. And honestly, if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm on Book Talk and I'll take your book, I hate to say this, and maybe this is just me being biased, but my very first answer is no, thank you. Because of everything that's going the last several years, and literally Book Talk and Bookstagram did this to themselves. They did this to themselves. That if you have like if your Book Talk review blows up, if you end up one of those trending books, it's like, oh, it's a thirst trap. It must not be well written. It must be smut. And that is really, I don't write smexy scenes in my books, and I I don't know what the answer is here, except that do not pay for reviews because Amazon will kick you.
Yeah.
And if they say, well, it's an editorial review, you're paying for an editorial review, and that's legitimate marketing, which is the argument that I have gotten with in my Facebook group. I belong to an indie author Facebook group, and we have had fights about paying sensitivity readers. We have had fights about ARC reviews being free or paying. Now, if it's a printed copy of an ARC review, I can understand why an author would want that back, would want at least the print cost back. But e-copies are free. You send them in an email. It's free. And sensitivity readers, if they are going through and legitimately doing their job to look for and make sure there's nothing that's going to get flagged, they should, that's work. They should be paid.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
But the fact that it's like, you're going to pay me to review your ARC or I will review bomb you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
That's just nasty business. I'm sorry. If you have to get your business because you're threatening somebody, then you just don't need to be in business at all.
Yeah.
That's blackmail.
Exactly. And then if you follow through with the blackmail and the threats, then that's slander. And guess what? That can land you in jail.
Yeah.
Or at least a fine.
I really feel
and
like some people don't think about that shit. Go figure.
Eva sensitivity raters should charge Devin. Repay them with an EPUB of the final product. Yeah. That's great. That's great.
And seeing this, you sometimes you don't even give out art copies or anything and you still get reviews, and that's great. Let's see. In this right here, there are platforms that you can use in order to get your books out there to the people who are going to leave reviews for you, and it's free. They don't have to pay anything. All they have to do is just kind of sign up for it. And paying somebody to do an ARC review is just no go.
I mean, there is, I do know a book reviewer who randomly draws the books that she reads every month, and you can pay for her to read a book, to bump her book to the head of the line. But you're paying for her time, not the review. And if it's going to be a bad review, she's refunded people because she's like, look, I'm really sorry. And you bumped your book to the head of the line. You paid to have your book put at the front of the line, and I'm not going to be able to give you a positive review.
Yeah.
So, then which that leads to our next topic.
Yeah. See, this right here, if they're going to give you overall thoughts and chapter by chapter synopses and pointing out grammar mistakes and stuff like that, and they are taking the time to really dig into your work, by all means pay them, or at least trade beta reads with them. Do something that is good for them. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And then there's also this right here. Usually with a paid beta reader, they will get back to you. I've had some beta readers skip out on me too, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It really, life happens. It does. I'm not trying to bash anybody here. It's just that usually with a paid beta reader, you're going to get that feedback back. And like Maggie said, if it's a bad read, they're going to tell you that, and hopefully they give you a refund and you can rework your book. Or maybe that book just wasn't for them anyway. Either one.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Full on breakdown reports. Yeah. If DNFing beta reads wasn't so shunned, I'd beta all the time. I also DNF a lot.
I traded beta reads with someone, and I had to tell them, I'm like, I have to DNF this. I cannot read this. I said, first of all, not my genre. I told you it was not my genre, but I was willing to read it for the world building in it, which needs a lot of work. Here's my tips on the world building that you can add in, but I don't read sexually violent books. And I understand that's a kink for some people, but this is not BDSM. This is sadomasochism, and it's not good for my mental health to be reading it. Here's the things you need for your world building. To the point that I'm sorry that I just started skipping. I DNF'd all your sex scenes from a third of the way into the book and just like did the world building read. But it's, that's another thing is if you have somebody beta reading outside your genre, just be willing to accept the DNF. Know that that they may hit a point where they're like, I just can't.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I sent her a list of words besides said, ask, and whispered.
I have a lot of growled.
Growled, yes, that was the fourth one. That was the fourth one. They had 4 words for their language tags through the entire book. He growled everything to the point that I'm like, well, he's a vampire, werewolf, or troll.
That's just his voice.
and she whispers everything to the point that I'm like, does she have selective mutism?
She's a fine Southern Belle lady.
She's gonna be over there clutching her pearls later.
She don't want anybody to hear that. And this too, yeah. I've DNF'd, I think, 2 beta reads, and yeah, that made me feel terrible. Yeah. But
I try to get my betas back as fast as I can, and I had to let Rachel and Dawn know, because I had stuff come up. I'm like, I will get to this. I have another thing that I'm doing. I will get to this. And then I got to it, and then they got me the next one, and then I got it out within 2 weeks, because I know that authors are waiting for the beta feedback. That is like being stabbed sometimes. And there have been books that I sent out for beta read. I traded with 10 people. I sent them back their beta stuff, and 2 of them got back to me. But the thing is 2 of them got back to me. 3 of them reached out to me and said life happened. And I was like, fine, do what you need to do. Take care of your family, take care of yourself. I completely understand this. The other 5 was like the same thing with Eva, just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are ways to get legitimate beta reads. There are ways to get legitimate ARC reviews where you are not paying someone else. I couldn't take the pay cut to delay the copy editing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at in Pagosa Cliffs right now. Is I have the Pagosa Cliffs Anemones, which is the bakeries, and Pagosa Stars, which is the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's book. I'm literally sitting waiting to pull the trigger on the sheriff's books because of stuff going on with the publishing house, and I really hope they figure it out, but I can no longer wait 12 to 18 months on a series that I am publishing parallel to it while they figure out what they're going to do to replace people.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin, I'll read book 2. I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, I've got Devin's first book, I think, in my cart right now, so I could read it. And I was hoping to read it in book 2, and then that way I could sign up to beta read book 3. But I don't know if
The Witch's Crystal, I really enjoyed it. I loved the world building.
Yeah. I've heard so many good things. I was like, yeah, this is mine now. Like a TBR, Corn and Dusty, yeah.
I mean, if the book is on the TBR, doesn't that mean it's also getting dust?
Yeah. Yeah. Technically. Okay. Now we have this one. Oh. The Witch's Crystal is now free with newsletter sign up. Nice. Nice. My thing with ebooks though is I will start them and then I'll forget about them because on the same device is Webtoons and Tapas and yeah. So physical books, yeah. So I can hit somebody with them or hit myself with them so I can, continue to read. That's a thing. All right. So this one I got off of Reddit, I do believe. It took a long time for this person to recoup from a surgery, and they are finding it difficult to get back into their projects. Do you have any tips?
Health is always a problem. Well, you guys just saw me come out of a thing where I haven't written for almost 18 months. I've just been like grinding through trying to get publishing things done. I didn't do anything for like I would have 3 to 5 month stretch where I didn't do anything. What I do is because I'm the series queen. I go back and I read the ones. I start rereading the ones that I did before. If it's a single book in the series, like Cowboy a la carte or Spring in the NBA, those are a little bit harder because it's just that one book. And trying to push into restarting that book is very difficult. Even reading the previous ones, reading the world building, reading the plotting. I actually started Cowboy a la carte a couple of years ago. And then I ended up, when I started again last April for Camp Shall Not Be Named, I had to completely just like chuck half of everything that I did before. I didn't delete things, but I put them into a folder to be used in other places. And I had to restart the project because I couldn't start back where I had stopped. And so my recommendation is if you have stopped, if you're having health reasons, if you cannot get back, if you just can't get back into this project, maybe shelve it, move on to something else. There's a frustration when you start a project over that you've like written half of it and then you have to start it over. You get this frustrated feeling as a writer that I've already written this. Why am I writing this again? And that is as big of a block as an actual, I don't know where to go from this plot point kind of a block.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it again. And it pulls back into this, and people don't realize that, but it pulls back into that thing that we had in elementary school where the teacher kept giving you the same worksheet over and over and over. And you didn't want to do the same worksheet over and over because you already learned it.
Yep.
And sadly, that's what happens. And with health issues, because you need to take care of your health, you've got to get your health done. You cannot succeed as a writer if you're not taking care of your physical health. And so that's my tip is revisit your world building, revisit your characters, maybe interview your characters. Everybody knows about my 30 questions for world building and 30 question character interview, because if you know your characters, they're easier to write. Make your characters your neighbors, and then you can spy on them. But yeah, if just starting as someone who has had to restart projects because of health issues, It is a really hard thing to do because you're like, where was I going with this? Okay, I was going here with this. It doesn't really feel like it should go there. It feels like it should go here. So yeah, just go back, look at all your research that you did leading up to this project, revisit your plotting, revisit your characters. If you're still not feeling it, don't be afraid to change project and shelf this one, because I mean, a couple years down the line, you might be happy to, you might pick this up and be like, ooh, like someone's book about my hero. And, How many years has it been?
No, that's not the bad one. The epic is the bad one, because I started the epic back in middle school, and here we are, and I'm 20. How old am I? 26 years later. Oh yeah.
I think my only advice for that is to like, this is when shiny new project syndrome is like fantastic.
Yes, definitely. Sometimes new projects are needed because that story doesn't fit you anymore. Or
I had to wait
right now.
I had to wait almost 3.5 years to finish the Revelation Night trilogy, because the pandemic happened after book 2, and I kept putting, I was trying to write it in 2020 when all the pandemic protocols were coming in, and I bombed that nano because I got COVID on like the 11th. And I couldn't think creatively for like 6 to 8 weeks. And then when I kept trying to go back to it, it was so weird, because I kept putting pandemic protocol things in a world where the pandemic never happened. And I had to just go.
Yeah. And this right here, if you're going back into that project, take it slow. Think about each of your characters as they drink their ale, coffee, tea, whatever. Don't write anything down. Just imagine it, and slowly you'll get back in there. And this too, never delete. And try to find those old drafts, because granted, they make you cringe, but at the same time, there's little nuggets in there that are just absolute gold and diamond. So yeah. Ava says, I haven't had surgery. My friend recently did. She's now back to posting to her stories and getting some amazing reviews. Awesome. She doesn't know how it happened. I remember her thinking it never would. Time slows down in recovery. Yeah. Never would by my feelings. I'm reworking my middle school story into my Arthurian legend project. Ooh. Yeah. No one is ever allowed to read first drafts, ever. Especially from way back then.
I just made a comment because at some point in all of my many moves, I had a box that was full of notebooks that were full of stories, and they're gone. So I don't have that option. Yeah. I can't look back at all the writings. Like I can tell you that I don't have anything from before 2010, because that's when I switched basically to computers only. And all of those notebooks are just gone. So I've got 10 years worth of stuff just missing.
I had so we had the goats.
Nom nom noms.
I had my notebooks because I went after my stroke. There was like 2 years when I couldn't type, and handwriting was one of the ways. Wrote left-handed because I had to relearn to write right-handed. Couldn't type, had to relearn how to type. Still struggle with that. And I had one of my story seed notebooks and one of my project notebooks on the chair in the computer in the family room, because we only had one computer at the time. And we went to town. I had to go to the doctor. We went and got groceries. We got home. The goats had gotten out of their pen and gotten into the back room, into our mudroom. Mm-hmm. They had eaten all of their feed. Then they had trounced through the house and chewed on every piece of paper they could find and eaten all my house plants And yeah, two of my notebooks got recycled into pellets.
I'm sorry. It's not
Now
funny,
they're
but it
beautiful
is.
flowers.
Okay. That's okay. I was like, I make the joke that my writing literally became crap because but yeah. So yeah, I feel missing. I feel lost books. I feel that on a very deep level.
Yeah. When I'm going through something, I write with that voice, with those thoughts, because later those same feelings can't be recaptured. Exactly.
That's an interesting thing.
I have the never delete rule because I no longer have any of my old stories. At some point in all my moves, I lost a box full of notebooks.
Yeah.
I have those middle school scripts somewhere still, and I read through them, I think maybe 2 years ago, and I think I did one here on this channel, and I was like, oh gosh, no.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd love it when people find like their old like original first written stories and read them on their channel, and I'm like, I can't do that. Dang it!
I shouldn't have done it. Let's see. My oldest draft I still have is from the early 2000s. I was 19 or 21, I think. It's a middle grade portal fantasy. Nice.
I love a good portal fantasy.
Oh gosh, my dad's basement flooded and I lost a lot of books, but my notes were saved. At least the notes were there.
Everything that I wrote from before I went to college, because college is when I stopped writing. Everything from before then, I lost to black mold when we lived in Texas. And
Okay, I see two of the notebooks now. So there's two. Yeah, no. There's two back here that are from middle school. And then there should be 3 more in the storage bin that's from high school. And then in college, it was RPG Life for Sam. And, AO3 and yeah. So I would probably have like 30 books done by now if I hadn't dipped my toes into the RPG life and had like 50 characters in those games. But yeah, just take it slow. And sometimes you need to just start a new project.
Yeah, don't feel like a lot of people like, but this was going to be my big book. No. That just don't put that weight on it. Writing should be something you love. It should be something you enjoy. If you're fighting a manuscript and it's sucking the joy out of your life and you start to feel that heavy obligation, like, oh, I have to write a term paper. Oh, I'm taking a test. Oh, if you start have that salt mine mentality about getting your words, you need to find your joy again. Don't be afraid to change projects. And everyone's like, oh, but I never finish projects. I get bored with it and then I hop projects. Unfortunately, that happens. And sometimes I didn't say anything.
Stop attacking me.
I didn't say anything, Miss 82. I did not say anything, Miss 82.
Stop attacking me.
Don't be afraid and go back and finish it later. Yeah, you need to push yourself to finish projects. And yeah, pushing yourself to editing projects is hard because you've got that I already did this brain mentality. But that's just part of the writer life. And I'm just going to say it, unpopular opinion here, that's just part of the writer life.
Yeah. My friend only writes fanfic. Her current story is DOT, but I forget what that stands for, so that's no help. DOT. I used to remember what that stood for.
I feel like
it's back in the day. Twilight fan. I have this right here. Twilight fanfic brings back terrible flashes of memory. Just saying. Jay said, I had GeoCity's website where my old fanfics were posted. They were lost to the winds now. Yeah. Same with, what was it? Live Journal, Insane Journal. A lot of my stuff is on Insane Journal. And there is one in between Live Journal and Insane Journal, that Greatest Journal. So a lot of my RPGs are on those, and yeah, a lot of fanfics. Yeah, some projects are worth hanging on to, but are not. Jump to that new project.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the one who hasn't.
Yeah, but Eva, you're so into the writing community, and you pay attention to the details, and you know what to say to writers that are struggling, because you are you're a very intuitive person and a very good reader, and we love you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's Be Nice to Eva Day again, so everyone be nice to Eva.
Daughters of Darkness. I like that. That's a good title.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like maybe it's another acronym that
Wasn't there a tabletop gaming? Children of Darkness was a it was a vampire game. Vampires and Demons. It was part of the Archangels. Oh my God. I think I still have those books. No, I don't.
The only thing that I'm calling up is
it was from like they were tabletop RPGs from like 1991 and 92, because it was before my first divorce.
Yeah.
So so it was all pre 1993. So
she's a popular fanfic author in the Twilight community. Good for her. I honestly, I'm not saying that in sarcasm, but I'm not touching Twilight again with a 10-foot pole. Sailor Moon.
Oh, yes. Many Sailor Moon fanfics.
It still exists. It's a White Wolf property. It's a big readership. Yes, it is. It really is. Keep my World of Darkness thoughts to myself.
Yeah, but like the main thing though is if you're struggling after an illness or surgery or like family drama, even, give yourself the grace to step away from a project. If you cannot, if you're just not finding yourself being able to get back into that project, you understand that the person you are now after this event is not the same person that started this. And like there's one book that I had written and drafted and totally planned on writing that called Ink and Cacao, that I'm probably never going to write now because one of my friends' lives too closely mimicked the inciting events of Ink and Cacao. And I just it was too close for me with that. So yeah, give yourself the grace to walk away from a project if you need to, because you're not the person you were when you started that project. And if the characters aren't relating to you, if the story's not speaking to you, there's a reason. There is something here that is not letting it come out here.
Yeah. All right.
And you can always piecemeal it later to use in new projects if you have to too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't delete anything. Put it in your story seeds, character seeds.
Yeah. Write some short stories, something. Yeah. All right. So moving right along. What do you do when someone yucks your yum and steals your motivations? Maybe it's feedback that wasn't asked for at all. Maybe it was a snide remark about your genre, the POV you use, the length of your chapters or project, or maybe it was broken promises / ghosting over requested feedback. So yeah, this comes from Eva in our Instagram chats. But yeah, I think we touched on this a little bit last week. I think it was last week. It might have been a week before last. So you can go back and watch that to get the tips from back then, but we can also talk about what we would do now, because we've grown in a week, in 7 days, I promise.
I wasn't here last week. I was chasing hot air balloons. I was doing other things. It's like we were talking about earlier with getting beta readers that aren't in your genre. You know, that is an expectation that you need to be aware of, you know, that they might DNF your book and move on. They might not like it. Still, if you're doing a beta read, try to give some feedback. Life gets in the way sometimes. And if you are swap beta reading, you know, if something happens, please reach out and tell them, I cannot get to this right now. This thing is going on. Please understand. And, you know, we're all human. We all understand when life goes, it blows up in your face.
Yeah, for real.
So, but things that steal your motivation, that's the imp. That is the imp talking to you. And then there's the other side of that, of like the snide remark. You will have friend readers out there that are frenemies. They will be nice to your face. And they will say things that sound nice that aren't nice at all. It's not just a Southern thing to say something that sounds nice but isn't nice at all. And those things feed into your imp. They feed into your imposter syndrome, and they can actually become as big of a block to your writing as actual plot problems, character problems, lack of motivation. And it's sadly there you know, there are other writers out there that will be like, oh, your book sounds so amazing, and then not realizing that you're in the background of a chat or something and just trying to get stuff done and not interacting, and they'll be snarking about your productivity or your writing style or your genre. And it's hurtful. It is very hurtful when someone you think was your friend, someone who you thought was on your side and supporting you, pulls the frenemy card and you get that glimpse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Devin says, that's one person. That's not the majority of your audience. It's hard to not let it feed the imp.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. But honestly, you need to just take the imp, duct tape it to a chair, throw it in a closet, put some air fresheners in there, take the nail gun out, nail the door shut, and ignore the smell until it goes away.
Yeah. Before I discovered storage, I had a beta reader who was interesting. Yeah. I bet that's a lovely story. And sometimes we do need to grow thicker skins. Sometimes we do. And that's a process in and of itself, because as you start out writing, you're going to be vulnerable, and you're going to be even more vulnerable, because that's the point, in my opinion and in my experience, that's the point where the imp is really writing you and you don't know how to lock it up. So yeah, just give yourself some time to grow, and just know that people are going to people. Haters are going to hate, and there's not really a way to get away from it, because it's people.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that you find diamonds in the rough, like up here.
To kind of tag along onto Devin's comment earlier about it being one person, if it's one person saying it, you can freely ignore whatever they're saying. But if you got, especially like with beta reading, if you've got a whole bunch of people saying the same thing, just different ways, then you might need to take a look at what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Even if they're not being exactly nice about it, that would go back to the thicker skin thing, because that means you do have a problem with whatever you're working on.
Yeah. And then talk to the person or ignore them. Don't let it fester on public forums. Yes.
Yes.
Mama Maggie method for the win. Let's see. Jace says, what I've learned from watching lots of YouTubers, the one negative comment tends to weigh more than the 100 positive ones. Yes. And that is the imp right there. And that's human tendency. If you've taken any psychology courses, you know that the negative always outweighs the positive, no matter what upbringing that you've had. You can have a silver spoon upbringing where everything is perfect and you still focus on that negative. You still focus on that one bad thing. So yeah, just it helps to realize that way you can work through it quicker sometimes. But yeah. Eva says, I do not allow them into my life. I don't talk to disrespectful people though. Too many good ones out there. Yeah. Yep. Get it out. If 1 out of every 1,000 people is going to be weasel about it, then the more successful you are, the more weasels they are. Exactly.
That's true.
That is so true.
Yeah. Devin says, I was in the Navy for 5 years. My usual reaction is, that's nice. In full Mrs. Brown's voice from Mrs. Brown's Boys. Yes. Yeah. No, there we go. Jace's editing services. Highly recommend. And Devin says, I'll send you the beta link for book 2, Mama Maggie. There's no deadline.
Thank you, Devin. I will get it back to you as soon as I finish this project that I am on, the beta reading project that I'm on.
No. Eva's being devil advocate over here. Deadline mode. All right. Let's see. In the whole, speaking from experience here, length of project. I make fun of the length of my own projects. I'm no hero.
Relic of Time War.
So just do your best and just let it go. I worked on I'm No Hero for 5 years? I mean, I started it out on this channel and I'm to the point now where I'm like, screw it. I'm done.
It's as good as it's going to get, dang it.
Right.
Well, there comes a time when we have to turn into that mama bird throwing her baby out of the nest, fly or fall. Right. Yeet the baby.
And the size of I'm No Hero is going to fall onto the ground and into the earth. It's going to keep going.
It's going to cause an earthquake. No.
And I can plant a new seed in the hole. That's fine. Oh, goodness. I've had unsolicited feedback that went something like, that's a dumb title. Ha ha ha. Unless you just don't want to sell books. What? Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about dumb titles.
I love that title.
Talk about titles that people are like, what the hell is that title? The title is the B plot of the book.
That's your version of the new anime titles. Let's see what was that longest anime? Anybody know it off the top of their head?
My brain is melting today. I'm not good with recall.
Hold on,
that was just wrong of them, Eva. to put that to publicly say that and then just yeah.
Okay, backstabbed in a backwater dungeon, and there's like a whole bunch of little font here that is part of the title. Something about companions tried to kill me. Now I have the Pharaoh's gift for unlimited gacha, and I got level 9,999. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Holy crap! I just googled it to find out the actual title.
Not kidding you about it being the longest. It's
no. I don't know if it's been turned into an anime yet, but it is definitely a manga. And yeah. Practically the whole story on the book. Yeah. There we go. There it is. Backstab in a backwater dungeon. My trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of an unlimited gacha, I got level 9,099 friends and am out for revenge on my former party. Huh.
It's so long, it split it into 2 comments.
Oh. Oh my god.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man. Yeah. I can't wait for this to be made into anime. I mean,
no, Devin, we were talking about the literally the longest title.
I know.
Yep. Let's do a long title anthology.
Oh god.
Oh,
Breaking the block.
that's funny. Oh,
The longest series, is it still One Piece or did something surpass that? Pretty sure it's still One Piece.
I think it's still One Piece.
I'm pretty sure it's still One Piece.
yeah, I'm waiting for the next season of One Piece to pop up on Netflix.
Yeah.
One Piece. With 2,640 episodes.
Gosh. See, this is the reason why. Okay, I watched Naruto as it was airing. And then everybody was like, you need to watch One Piece. And I looked at One Piece and I looked at the number of episodes and I looked at the number of manga chapters and I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm. Nah.
It's half my life.
I can't even devote myself to 8 episodes. There's no way I'm gonna watch 2,600 plus. My husband's trying. He's trying so hard. He's like, you will like this. I'm like, I'm sure I will.
Just give me the highlights. Here's a highlight video somewhere.
The thing is unfortunately the more they go, they're already clipping things. So I know there's no way they're going to do all the episodes.
Yeah,
there's no way.
This right here, I know that last that does not exist. Burrito. That's what my husband calls it all the time, and I thought about watching it. I thought about giving it a chance, and I watched one episode, and I'm like, nope, it is burrito. One bite and done. Go away.
Okay.
The power of word of mouth. I don't consume the genre. One Piece live action is so much better than anime. Yeah, it is. I have started watching the live action, or I finished watching the live action up until they renew the season.
Hi, Sako.
In One Piece style.
All
right. So the last one that we've got for today is this. Can writing be a coping mechanism and a distraction from our writing goals itself?
100%.
I was going to say short answer, yes.
100%.
Yes.
Writing. I raise your hand if you write instead of editing, formatting, marketing. Can I get my foot up here? Hold on. Get my foot up here too. Oh.
What are writing goals? What is those?
Yeah, I mean, I do. No, thank you, madam. Yeah. Writing is therapy. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and as someone who used writing as a way to, I write to deal with my stroke, to avoid dealing with my stroke issues and my headaches and stuff. And when my migraines are too bad for me to write, I edit. I go back into the worlds that I've already written and I start editing because I would rather be this than having to like constantly be focused on feeling what I'm feeling.
Yep.
Bye, Jace.
Yeah.
Have a good lunch.
So
Writing.
this right here, I like editing when I can't focus. That's when I edit, because usually if I try to write when I can't focus, I am checking Instagram, I'm doing other things other than writing. But if I am editing when I can't focus, it draws my brain into one thing because I hate it so much.
See, I like editing. I like drafting. I like editing. The formatting I hate. Marketing I hate. But yeah, and sometimes you just need to go sit with your Kindle in a corner and binge read a 12-book series or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like but yeah, writing. The thing is, though, the problem is I went through this phase in my writing journey where all I did was write. I never did any editing. I just went project, write. And now you guys hear me moaning the backlog of projects that I have to edit.
Same.
I mean, I still have to finish The Western Queen. And then I've got all 5 books from The Servant of the World to edit. And that's because they're about 120,000 words each. So, yeah. Bye, Eva. So, yeah. Writing is a great escape. Writing is wonderful, especially like if you've got a short story in, or if you've got shiny object. If you have shiny object hit you like really hard. So many books under the writing can be your procrast distraction.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like I'm on a schedule, I've got to get these books written. I've got my Kanban board is all here looking at me in the face every day. Every day. The books that I need to get out. You have to just find the willpower to say, nope, we're doing editing today. Look at the blocks that I have to fill out for the editing blocks. These are the editing blocks for this month that I have to do. Yeah. And you procrastinate working. Hey, I am full on for procrastination. I do everything except the task I'm supposed to do. I'm productivity. I get all the productivity done, just not the productivity that I need to do.
Feel that.
Yeah.
I for the longest time I had never even thought about publishing. So to be fair, about all the many projects I have, a lot of them were written with never the intention of publishing them in the first place. And then it was one of those things where they were like, had a couple people read them and they were like, you should be publishing these. And I was like, that's a thing?
Yep. Yeah, revisions have taken over me too. I have 5 different books at various stages, 0 published. That's going to change in October though. For me.
My problem is I have entire series that I'm revising.
Yeah.
I am actually working on the 5th of the Pagosa Cliffs books so that I can have them all set up. I can put them all into publish. I have all the covers made. I just have to finish the formatting. The formatting to hit.
Nice. Devin was never going to publish until she stumbled on the indie writing community. Awesome.
I'm glad you published, Devin. Yeah. I really like The Witch's Crystal.
Yep.
See, I was posting to a site called Fiction Press, which was basically fanfiction.net's fiction version. And that was when I started getting comments being like, you should actually publish these. And I was like, what? I am. These are. No, not what I mean.
Yeah, I was on Wattpad and Inkit, and people were like, when can we get hard copies? And I was like, what?
That's a thing?
I could do that, but I had the brain damage.
You can do it.
Mhm.
All
Hey,
right.
if brain damage mama can drop books, everybody here, everybody in the chat, everybody watching the replay, y'all can drop the books too.
Yep,
Drop the books.
definitely. You've got an awesome support system here on AuthorTube. Promise.
Oh, yeah.
So join us. Come to the dark side.
Join us.
Make videos. We have cookies sometimes.
I want a cookie. Do I
We have cookies most
I don't
of the
have
time.
cookies.
Come join us. Join us on the paper side.
Everybody drop books. All right. So we have been here for about an hour. Is there anything that y'all want to talk about, either up here on screen or in the chat, before we go?
You can publish, Rita. We believe in you.
Yes. We have cookies and Joanne makes good food. Yes. Yes. I can't. That book. She needs to do the recipes with it. I think she is, because that's going to be amazing. I'm not a leader. These two maybe are, but
We just
Don't give me
show
that
up
responsibility.
and we're like, I just show up and I'm like, hey, I've made every mistake in the book. Let me tell you about it.
I'm still making mistakes. Woo!
Don't be a mama and make the mistakes.
Yes.
So what was it? My whole life is like I'm a background character, because background characters don't get caught.
I don't want to be the background character or the side character, because I kill too many of mine.
I wanna, can I be the NPC of My Love of Life? Is that possible? Just say
No, I'm the affable info drop character that just comes through. It's just here and there.
with
Mama
random
Maggie, the
tidbits of
flying little
information.
fairy.
Yeah. I am the encyclopedia character. Yeah, just the one, the NPC that you can go to and get any information from. If I was in a game, I would be that character in the library.
With the huge book that's about this thick and thousands of pages long, and you just flip it open.
Yes. I think I added to my newsletter, I'm pretty unremarkable. No, you're not. You're not. Everybody here is awesome, and you are doing the things that you need to do in your own time, and we will love you for it. I have a normal hair color, not the main.
What are you trying to say, Devin?
I don't know. Since it's been so long since I've dyed my hair, I might be the mage, sage, whatever now. Oh, man.
Yes, but can any of the rest of you say that you fed your books to your goats?
No.
Nope.
So yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, this was fun. Yes, just
all right.
thank you everyone for coming. And
yes, it has been so awesome. Do y'all want to do outros, or you want to just go out?
Does a Capricorn husband have? Oh, Jenna, honey, I'm a Capricorn. My husband's a Capricorn. We were born 3.5 days apart, so we only have 2 differences in our astrological chart. It's crazy. people are like, there's no way you guys should still be married. And it's like, yeah, but we are.
Aquarius with a Pisces. It's awesome.
Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor. I have books. Yeah. I'm planning on doing 50K in October because there is a big difference between generative AI and non-generative AI, and it has nothing to do with classism, elitism, and ableism. Right. Unless you're nano, and then it does. So, yeah.
Nope.
Since everyone's revealing signs, I'm an Aries and my husband's a Scorpio, so we've got fire and water here. It's great. I'm Skye. I also write books. I am very good at writing books, but never publishing them. So when you see like 6 or 7 books published at one time, I know someone's going to come after me and say, hey, your books were probably written by AI. And I'll be like, nope, they've just been sitting on my computer for years.
That's why you that's why you do what I did, and you space them out 10 to 12 weeks per publish. And they'll go, oh, so you're one of those rapid writers. No,
yeah, sure.
I just wrote the outline mountains of words, and now I'm editing them.
Yeah, I'm a rapid release author, 20 years in the making.
Right. Everybody's links should be down in the description box below, so make sure that if you are not following these lovely ladies that you do so, because wealth of information and fun. I am Writer Sam Wicker. I have a book coming out at the end of October, I hope.
I believe in you, Sam.
It's gonna happen.
Yay!
Everything is set up to fall right into place, just like dominoes, and we'll see if Murphy's Law hits or it does not. So we will see you next Sunday, where Devin will actually join us up here on screen too. And we'll see you then.